We hide our needs from people. We're covert about them. We're indirect about them. We live in fear of getting shamed or rejected for having needs. And guess what? This is what makes us needy. Not because we have needs, not because we ask people to help us get our needs met, is because we are not asking and we are not taking responsibility for our needs. This is what ends up making us needy. All right, let's talk about needs. All right, let me ask you guys a question. I can't see everybody on the call. We got over 32 people on the call. Or we got at least 32, counts me probably. And so I can't see everybody, but just kind of a show of manual hands. Have you ever been told by a woman that you're too needy? I have. Everything, all these questions, I'm going to say I've already raised my hand. Have you ever been told that your neediness is creepy? Yeah, maybe a few of us have heard that before. Do you work to hide your needs and your wants? Anybody ever do that? I spent most of my life doing that. Have you ever tried to never be a moment's problem to anyone? Maybe as a child in your family, maybe in a relationship, maybe at work. I don't want to rock the boat. I don't want to be a moment's problem. Now, Umberto, he put his digital hand up. He'd moved to the top of my screen. Nice work, Umberto. Yeah, by the way, if you put your digital hand up, it does move you right up in front of me. So I got no problem with that. Tom says, I want some attention too. So I got no problem with wanting attention. That's a good need to have. Since childhood, have you tried to be needless and wantless as if that was a possibility? Yeah, I see more hands going up. Have you believed other people's needs were more important than your own? Yeah, maybe like everybody's. Their needs are more important than mine. If your needs did get last, if any, did they come last? Oh, one more question that's not in my notes. Anybody in here ever used covert contracts to try to get your needs met? I'll read your mind and give to you so that then you'll read my mind and give to me. Anybody ever find out that doesn't work well? Anybody ever find out that people can't read your mind? Ever figured out that maybe you're not that good at even letting people give to you? Oh man, that was a real wake up for me to realize this is on me. Not only am I not good at inviting people to give, I'm a shitty receiver. That was a real, wake up call, probably about 15, maybe 20 years ago to really come to that. But it was a good wake up call. Okay, this is part one. Like I said, we're going to do a two-part lesson. Part one of aspiration number 11 of our Integrated Man series. And that aspiration is I aspire to make my needs a priority and surround myself with people who want to help me meet them. As I said, this is going to be a two-part lesson. Part two, we're going to talk about cooperative reciprocal relationships. If you've ever done a TPI workshop with me, you've probably gone through this program. And we can do it. I can present it in 20 minutes. And I promise you, if you do it, it'll change your life. It's changed mine. My life is radically different since I started doing this CRR, Cooperative Reciprocal Relationship Program that I'm going to share with you 2 weeks from now on the next Omega call. All right, guys, a lot of times tend to be lone wolves, don't have a lot of friends. Many nice guys say, I don't connect with guys. I just don't connect. I don't understand. I don't want to sit around and objectify women. I'm more comfortable with women, but then we're actually, kind of needy with them. We get put in the friend zone by them. Many of us have virtually no support systems. We are giving to get. We're taking care of everybody else's needs but our own. Many of us feel vulnerable if we have needs around people. And one of the problems, in building Integration Nation, and I've dealt with this for years working with men, is that nice guys in general don't want to be with other people. And here we are offering this amazing community, and guys will pay $1 and leave after a month. And I'm convinced the primary reason most men leave, not is because the program doesn't, help meet a lot of needs. They don't actually fucking want to get on Zoom calls and talk to guys because it's just not in the nice guy DNA. But I have found that it's crucial and essential that we connect with people to get our needs met in order to level up to the best version of ourselves and have our best life. So in the journey of becoming an integrated man, a critical step is honoring and prioritizing your needs and wants. It involves taking full responsibility for your needs and wants. And I know, guys, I spent about 4 hours today in interviews talking about men. And here's one of the things I see men do. I'm talking about needs and wants. And some of you are already sitting out there in your brain going, just technically, what is the difference between a need and a want? Anybody doing that? Anybody already start debating? Yeah, I see some hands up. Start debating. Fuck it. Don't worry about it. It doesn't matter if it's a need or a want. If you want it, if you need it, it's your responsibility to get it. We'll just keep it that simple. So when we talk about needs and wants, we mean anything you require, you desire for your emotional, physical, spiritual, sexual well-being. So, like in pretty much all of these aspiration lessons, we got 3 key points. Key point number 1, nice guys often feel toxic shame for having needs and wants. Key point number 2, nice guys give to get. Oh yeah, covert contracts. Key point number 3, nice guys are terrible receivers. I've mentioned that, but we're going to go into all of these. So number 1, we nice guys tend to feel toxic shame for even having needs and wants. I used to tell my second wife, I said, you know, the surest way for me not to get what I want from you is to ask for it. If I asked clear, can you do this for me? She'd get pissed. Now, I internalized at a young age that everybody else's needs and wants must be more important. Dad, because he was kind of the narcissistic, self-centered, person that was kind of the dark hole in the living room that everything flowed through him. All right, dad's needs are more important. Well, mom's needs are important because mom doesn't get much. She sacrifices for everybody. So her need, and my little brother, oh, fuck, he was just, another dark hole of neediness. I better be needless and wantless. I better be, never be a moment's problem. I better give to everybody else so that they will be okay enough to come give to me. But underneath all that was a toxic shame about my needs and wants. Probably part of that came from fundamental Christianity, where I was taught, put everybody else first. That's actually a very non-Christian message. I know I've talked about that other times. Jesus said, love your neighbor as you love yourself. So, all love, the standard of all love is self-love. So if we're not fucking loving ourselves by taking good care of us, how are we going to love anybody else? Right? So it does have to begin with us, but most nice guys have a lot of toxic shames, and we believe everybody else's needs are more important than our own. Now, as adults, we hide our needs from people. We're covert about them. We're indirect about them. We live in fear of getting shamed or rejected for having needs. And guess what? This is what makes us needy, not because we have needs, not because we ask people to help us get our needs met, is because we are not asking and we're not taking responsibility for our needs. This is what ends up making us needy. And actually it turns us into that needy vacuum hose that people kind of, no, don't get close to me. Okay. So that's point number 1. Is that we often have shame. We think we're bad. We're doing something wrong. We think we're going to get in trouble if we have needs. I mean, how sad is that? How sad is that? Number 2, nice guys give to get. All right, we're all familiar with the covert contracts. I know many people have told me, Robert, no more Mr. Nice Guy. Number 1 takeaway, covert contracts. Covert contracts are all about giving to get. And they're called covert because they're covert, they're hidden. We're unconscious of it, and so is everybody else. Covert contract number 1. If I'm a good guy, then I'll be liked and loved. And the person I desire to have sex with me will desire to have sex with me, right? There's an if-then, a giving to get, a manipulation. Covert contract number 2. If I meet everybody else's needs without them having to ask, then they will meet my needs without me having to ask. And as we already mentioned, not only are we actually not that good at reading other people's minds, and we're usually caretaking, not caring, we're giving to people what we need to give to them so that we get our sense of, I call it borrowed functioning. We get our sense of value because look at me. I help other people. I fix other people. I give and sacrifice for other people. And the other part of that covert contract is that they will appreciate me and give back. So then covert contract number 3, if I do everything right, I'll have a smooth, problem-free world. Well, how's that working so far? We don't live in a smooth, problem-free world. So no matter how good you get, how right you do it, shit's still going to happen. Okay, but that covert contract number 2, that's that core one that really fits into this needs part. So a powerful part of our nice guy recovery, of breaking free from nice guy syndrome, is that we begin to make our covert contracts overt. We begin to ask for what we want clearly. We begin to say, can you do this for me? We begin to surround ourselves with people who want to do things for us, and we begin to let people do things for us, which brings us to key point number 3. Nice guys are terrible receivers. Second ever, let's see, my mind's gone blank of the word I'm looking for, but second interview I ever did on the news was with Bill O'Reilly of Fox News. And is like second ever. I think I'm sitting in a studio room in a TV station in Seattle with a mural of Seattle behind me. And I'm looking at a little camera up in the corner of the room with the little red light on it. There's no monitor. I don't know what anybody's seeing. I have to keep my attention on that red dot and talk to that red dot like I'm talking to my camera right now. And if you look around, it makes your eyes look shifty. So, I got all this kind of instruction before I went to do, this interview with Bill O'Reilly. I didn't even know who Bill O'Reilly was at that time. I had to go online and find out who he was. If you don't know who he was basically an opinionated asshole on a news station that, attracts people who like assholes. He was such an asshole, he actually got fired by that radio station who kind of, prides themselves on having male assholes on there. And without getting political about it, so he basically was an asshole with me. Yeah, I get on there and I don't think he even knew why I was on his show. I don't think his producer even said, this guy's written a book, for nice guys. And so he just decided, I don't know where he even got and he started attacking the part where I talked about making your needs a priority. And he said, what is that about? And he just started kind of coming after that. And I said, Bill, I said, who prepared your breakfast for you this morning? Well, I did. Who put it on your plate? Well, I did. Who cut it up and spooned it into your mouth? Well, I did. What are you talking about? And I said, you did all of those things because you were making your needs a priority. You were taking good care of you. It's that simple. And he goes, that's ridiculous. He said, God's going to strike you down. And, I just, was playful and kind of kept it on a light tone. But actually, we're talking to each other today because of that interview with Bill O'Reilly. Because right after that interview, I've been trying to get a print contract. My agent had been shopping it. Within 24 hours, my agent sent me an email and he said, Barnes and Noble offered you a print contract for No More Mr. Nice Guy solely because of the way you handled Bill O'Reilly. All right. And Bill O'Reilly were arguing about making your needs a priority. And he said, God's going to strike me down. Anybody else feel that way? Oh, if I make my needs a priority, God's going to strike me down. Yeah, I'm on a fast train to hell. Nobody's going to like me or love me. I'm going to be all alone. The opposite is the truth, right? When you make your needs a priority, it makes you attractive. It makes you not needy. It makes people want to be around you. So that means not only do we have to take responsibility for filling our own bucket and meeting our needs, inviting people into our life who want to help us get our needs met, we have to practice receiving. We have to let people do things for us. And I know that it's so hard, and probably a lot of opportunities come up where people say, can I do that for you? Can I bring you something? Can I get you something? Can I do this? Can I give you a neck rub? And no, I'm okay. I'm okay. Start saying yes. You know, I've shared this. My wife, you know, she loves to do things for me. I'm taking the garbage out from the kitchen to the street. She'll go, do you need help? No, I don't. I don't need help to take the bag of garbage out. But I used to say, no, I'm okay. That hurt her. She got pleasure out of coming to help me, right? Basically, just walk with me from the kitchen to the street and back again. I was robbing her of the pleasure of getting to be with me. You know, we'll be sitting, you know, at dinner and I'll look around and I don't have a fork. And she goes, what do you need? And I'll go, I'm starting to get up. And I go, I need a fork. And she goes, I'll get it. And go, I can get my own fork. You know, I can take, and I've actually stopped. I did this the other night, turn around, sat back down at the table and said, sure, thanks. You can get me a fork. It gave her pleasure to give to me, and it was good practice. I can get up and get my own fork. I didn't want to be like my dad. Mrs. Glover, bring me a fork. Right? That's exactly how he would do it. And so here's now, this is Mrs. Glover wanting to bring me a fork. And now I let her because it gives her pleasure. So think about this. You get pleasure from giving to other people. Other people get pleasure out of giving to you. And who are you to rob people of that pleasure? That's a good enough reason to practice letting people give to you. Okay. In 2 weeks, part 2, we're going to talk about creating that network, cooperative reciprocal relationships. We'll talk more about getting your needs met in ways that make you look anything but needy, more attractive, less manipulative, and a hell of a lot happier.